Good evening. Meeting of the Township Committee, April 5th, 2021. The notice requirement provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Star Ledger, the Independent, and the Two River Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 7th, 2021. Committeeman Clark.
Here.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Here.
Committeewoman Snell.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
At this time, I'd like to read notice that the township is holding this meeting pursuant to the rules established under the Open Public Meetings Act for the holding of virtual public meetings during a declared state of emergency. The meeting is being broadcast live by way of Webex platform and allows members of the public to participate through their computer or telephone. Written public comments may also be submitted through the clerk's office at 1 Kings Highway, Middletown, New Jersey, or town clerk at middletownnj.org. But will only be read onto the record if received before 9 a.m. the date of the meeting. If you wish to be heard when public comments are permitted for the hearing of an ordinance or during the general public comment portion of the meeting, please use the raise your hand function on Webex platform, and I will call upon you one at a time. For those dialed in via phone only, I will open the floor to the phone comments during the public comment sections as well. You will be asked to state your name, address, and for the record, and observe the time limit of 5 minutes unless the comments are part of an ordinance hearing. For more information, please, for this process, please contact the township clerk at townclerk@middletownnj.org. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. Our first item on tonight's agenda, we have action items. To start with, a public hearing for ordinance 2021-3305, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2021.
Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment on ordinance number 2021-3305? You can use, as Heidi mentioned, the raised hand feature. And if you are calling in via conference call, she will unmute you and give you the same opportunity to respond, to make a comment. With that being said, any member of the public wishing to make a public comment?
No calls.
No calls today?
And no hands.
Okay. Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. Now we have introduction of ordinance 2021-3306, an ordinance amending chapter 465 of the Code of the Township of Middletown to address parking and traffic regulations near Ideal Beach.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held April 19th, 2021. This time we have introduction of ordinance 2021-3307, an ordinance implementing voter-approved increase to the annual collection rate of the Middletown Open Space Recreation, Floodplain Protection, Farmland, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held April 19th, 2021. Our next ordinance for introduction, 2021-3308, an ordinance amending section 240-18 governing fee schedule for towing operators in the Township of Middletown.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held April 19th, 2021. And we finally have the introduction of ordinance 2021-3309 for the 2021 salary ordinance.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow.
yes,
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held April 19th, 2020. At this time, I'd like to ask the Township Committee to adopt the consent agenda, which would include resolutions 21-112 through 21-123.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow.
yes,
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass to the consent agenda. At this time, we have agenda items for next regular meeting, certificates of proclamations, approval of minutes, public hearing of proposed ordinances, introduction of proposed ordinances, and the consent agenda. For tonight's discussion item, I have two proclamations for the record. Proclamation recognizing April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Township of Middletown, and a proclamation recognizing April 2021 as National Donate Life Month in the Township of Middletown. Township Committee comments?
Committeeman Clark. Committeeman Sedambrino.
No comments, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Committeewoman Snow.
just two things really quick. Two fifth graders from Bayview Elementary were chosen to represent Middletown and participate in the National Youth Leadership Forum, Pathways to STEM. They're going to be taking classes and expanding their critical thinking skills at St. John's University. Their names are Caden Lee and Avery Zerbo, so I'd like to congratulate them. And also, just a reminder that we're the Middletown Remembers 911.com, the website for the improvements being made at the Memorial Gardens. I want everybody to remember, go on and see what it is you'd like to help us out with. There's a few things to do for families to do at their homes. We have lawn signs. Then we have banners that we're going to be erecting similar to what we did for the anniversary, going down Kings Highway and then down Church Street. And finally, we have our brick sales that are going really well right now, and we have about a month left on them. So if you take it upon yourself to get on the website, middletownremembers911.com, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, and that's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeewoman Snow. Deputy Mayor.
I'll say my comments. Thank you.
Just two things, few things actually that I'm going to mention. I want to thank the Township Committee for approving Resolution 21-112, which was supporting Senate Bill 1071 and Assembly Bill 639, which is supporting legislation that increases the state funding to the Shore Protection Fund. This is, I believe actually, the fourth year in a row that we've passed this legislation. This is a $25 million allocation that began, I believe, in 1998. It has never once been increased since that time. Obviously, protecting our shores, we know, is a vital part of the New Jersey economy, of Middletown's economy, and we want to ensure that this one-to-one match by the federal government for a total of 50 million currently and 100 million if this legislation is passed or put into the budget would certainly be welcome news to Middletown and the other 117 or so miles of the New Jersey coastline. The other one that I want to mention is Resolution 21-121, which expressed support for the utilization of independent pharmacies to allocate COVID-19 vaccines. Any person in the state of New Jersey or anywhere for that matter that chooses to get the COVID-19 vaccine should be able to go to their independent pharmacy and be able to get that. Middletown has 3 independent pharmacies in town. We have 60,000 people in this municipality, 68,000 people in this municipality. And 3 entities are standing by, have been approved by the Department of Health. I have requested that the governor immediately begin allocating COVID-19 vaccines to our independent pharmacies who have done everything they can and everything that they were told to do by the Department of Health. if people choose to get the COVID-19 vaccine, they should be able to go to their local pharmacies and get the same treatment. Why should Middletown Family Pharmacy, Crestview, or Sunray have to look down the street or across the street at one of the big pharmaceutical companies who are getting these allocations, and the people who are employed in our town, who live in our town, and who have been going to these places for decades should get that same right. So I want to thank the Township Committee for supporting that resolution. And finally, I just want to thank the two entities that reached out to myself and the Township Committee after our last meeting with regards to the National Child Abuse Prevention Month. This was requested by Pinwheel Place, which is a local grassroots organization that serves as a safe place for children in crisis at no cost to the parents in the New Jersey Shore area. They requested this, and this Township Committee is taking that action. And then I also want to thank Lisa Lucy, who approached me about National Donate Life Month. She works as a local business that produces products from donor bones to implant into spinal surgery to enhance people's lives. And they're working with the New Jersey Sharing Network. And there are currently 6 people in Middletown on the transplant waiting list. And we want to do our part in supporting them receiving their life-saving donations. So I want to thank both of those entities for doing that. With that being said, I'll open it up to public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment can use the raised hand feature as Heidi described at the beginning. Again, it's along the side there. The raised hand feature allows you to do it. Before I'm sorry, I forgot the most important introduction that we made today, and that was for the Open Space Trust Fund. Last year, this Township Committee passed a resolution in August putting the Open Space Trust Fund on the ballot. I've talked about it 150 times, feels like. But with 67% of the vote in the affirmative, that bill was passed. That referendum was passed. Today, we begin to implement the people's will, 67% of the people's will, to continue to preserve open space and enhance the parks and the farmland and the historical areas we have within this municipality. Middletown is not gaining any more land anytime soon, so we have to preserve what is left. And what I'm very grateful for this Township Committee for doing and introducing this ordinance in dedicating that new penny to solely the acquisition of open space. So that new penny, that new $1.1 million as of today on a generated each year basis will go to the acquisition solely of open space. So I want to thank the Township Committee for introducing that tonight, and I look forward to its passage at our next meeting. With that, now I'll really go back. With that being said, I see Mr. Miller there has his hand up. So Heidi, whenever you get a chance.
Thank you. This is Steve Miller at 151 Borden Road. I appreciate the information about the open space. Thank you. But my question, I actually have 2 questions. One is I was looking at the summary ordinance and find the complete planning department seems to be vacant. That's of concern.
I can't hear what he's saying.
Can you hear me?
Vacant. So it's a concern.
The planning department is a concern, you said,
Yeah,
Mr. Miller?
the page 9 of my 8 shows that all of the positions in the planning department are vacant.
So, at our last meeting actually was the moment we found out that our current planner, and she just left, Sam, who we wish all the best to and thank her for her service to Middletown. I served as a planning board member with her. I think 4 out of 5 of us have all served as, Brian, were you on the planning board? No. All right, so 4 of the 5 of us all worked with Sam. I know I can speak on behalf of the entire Township Committee in saying, we wish her all the best. So we are actively looking for a new planner. We do have several vacancies, but I can tell you the planning department is in very good hands as somebody who I think enjoys that job more than anything. our former planner, and now township administrator, Mr. Mercantante, is filling in that role until we hire a new town planner. So congratulations, Tony. Thanks so much.
Okay, I'm sure it's in good hands. I do have a question. Is the master plan re-examination then going to be completed?
Yes.
The plan is to complete it. Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that the Middletown Energy Plan, which we had submitted, is still in the running there, and not to be caught in a crack.
I missed what he said.
Yes, he wants an energy component of the master plan, which there will be.
Yes. Yeah, Steve, you have nothing to worry about, my friend.
Okay, great. I have one question for Kevin Settembrino. I have a friend who is a lead evangelist, and he would like to know, and I do too. I know you've mentioned this in the past, what the lead score was for the municipal complex. I just don't remember. I wanted to pass that on. The final, what I'm looking for is the final score, sort of like the design, but I know that it won't be official. But what was the final ranking for lead?
So I think the building won't be a LEED certified building. It will be a sustainable building. And I'm
Yes.
sure that our administrator can comment on, the number of points that we've attempted to achieve, but the points haven't been scored per se, Steve, with regard to LEED for the municipal building.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we said from day one that it would not be a LEED certified building because it just adds a significant cost.
Plus, yeah.
And I'd have to go back and look at the points to see what it would be if we took it, if we attempted to get it LEED certified. I don't know off the top of my head, but we've tried to take into account as many, aspects of sustainability as we can in the building. And I'm not, worried that it's not, we haven't done as good a job as we can in making it a sustainable facility, including tying in the solar array at the train station, among other things. But I'd have to get back to you about the points. I haven't looked at that in a while.
Okay, I'll remind you with email. Thank you. And that's it.
The one thing I will say about the municipal building is, thank goodness when we did it, because had we done it today rather than 2 years ago when we did it, it would have been probably $10 million more. I went to Lowe's the other day, and a 2x4 is $9.90 for a 2x4. It was $2. Like,
There's no 2x4s.
yeah, well, no, I know, but the big steel building next door is. But thank goodness we did it when we did. Colleen Lapp is happy about that, and she's shaking her head in approval. All right, thanks, Mr. Miller, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? You can use the raised hand feature. It's along the right-hand side of your screen. Seeing no other members of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and adjourn. Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heimer.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you very much.